Fontana and Michael van den Ham. We are under orders here in the elite men's race in the UCI Cyclocross World Championships. Away we go. We are off and racing. Lars van der Haar getting a great start. So is the powerhouse Swiss, but Mathieu van der Poel right in on the wheel.
Interestingly, Wout van Aert had to start second row because of the way he's gridding, but he's had a brilliant start and he's already up into equal third.
Lars van der Haar leading out here. A little shuffle back in the pack. Joris Neuvenhuis is moving up alongside Sweek and Neuvenhuis going side by side through that turn.
Yeah, you can see, crash there on the inside. Yeah, you can see how already Wout wants Mathieu van der Poel's wheel, but Joris Neuvenhuis seems to be trying to get onto Wout's wheel, and so he's actually protecting his line as much as possible. And as the Belgian riders are trying to take him out, basically.
Here on lap one, it's Lars van der Haar from Mathieu van der Poel, Wout van Aert, Joris Neuvenhuis, Laurent Sweek, Elisabeth, Kevin Kuhn of Switzerland, Michael van Turnhout, Marit Comba.
Mathieu van der Poel is going to the front of this bike race. Lars van der Haar protecting that second wheel as we're heading towards the hardest part of the course. It kicks up really steep and then drags over the top. Lars van der Haar getting in the way of Wout van Aert ever so slightly. The race is on.
It is on the opening lap. Look at the power of Mathieu van der Poel. If you were with us for Besançon last week, you saw Mathieu van der Poel making those repeated efforts last week. You know, we kind of said it in commentary last week, mindful of these world champs, the prep, just that last bits of just honing that form ready for this. He's just made a really similar effort there.
And Wout van Aert knew that was happening. You could see he was moving around. He was looking ahead to see where the front riders were going, what's happening, and yeah, he got straight onto that wheel, and that's what they're used to. Van der Poel looked behind him and said,
how fast can these two guys take these? Van der Poel over really clean, and like I said, Wout van Aert just loses a little bit of momentum over that second one and has to close a couple of bike lengths.
Yeah, you can do their game, because they're not just the two biggest names in cyclocross, they're two of the biggest names in the sport.
Yeah, once again, Van der Poel is attacking after those barriers, and he's making Wout having to make that extra effort to try and come back to him every single time. And of these two riders, Mathieu is slightly more skillful. They're both incredibly skillful. But
this is the absolute classic way to ride a cyclocross race. The hard bit's hard, the easy bit's easy, and Van der Poel just putting those huge efforts in. But as a result of that, we have a certain amount of energy. In kilojoules, it's measured above threshold, and you empty that like a bucket of water, and he's emptying that every time he makes these attacks.
His lap, Van der Haar's lap, was 19 seconds quicker than the front two on the last lap, but these guys, they're playing with each other. They've got a lap and 3/4 to go, and they're playing with each other. They're trying to decide how they're going to do it. Are they going to do slow tactics, fast tactics, long burn, a big jump? You know, they're just literally just them, and nobody else is going to be coming back, because at some point they're going to put out a stupid fast lap that's the fastest so far.
And you can see the power that Wout van Aert now is putting down through the woods, and Mathieu van der Poel was having to duck under the trees there. He did lose his foot a little bit on one corner. There was a dab of Van der Poel as Van Aert carries that speed now around the bottom of the field and is going to accelerate. He's trying to get back up to top speed. Van der Poel is battling back as Wout van Aert. We just watch this. So just we'll see here. Just has to dab that left foot through here. See, watch that slide out. Dabs that left foot down. When Wout came back after that, and that was a big move by Van der Poel there.
I was surprised a little bit with Wout that he never, to a certain extent, tried to win the bike race. It was always Van der Poel on the front foot, always trying to get a gap, whereas Wout went to the front through that first wooded sections a couple of times, but didn't really continue with the attack, as we see the replay of the sprint, and just that hesitation. And they always say, just don't hesitate, and it's exactly what Wout did, ever so slightly coming out that corner, just rolled for a little bit too long and just allowed Van der Poel to get the jump on.